Hello and welcome. This is a quick guide on how to get the cereproc SDK, cerevoice SDK Unity version to work. I talked to the tech support guys and they gave me this one. I could supply this because it doesn't provide any licensing details. You've got to get them separately. They're critical, so you must get them. But to be honest, first try and get it off there, and if you really have to, I might be able to provide it. But to be honest, I'd much rather you went by them. So you need to get a developer's license from cereproc. It's 60 quid, and that gives you access to the SDK, limited technical support, and I think it's support at cereproc.com. The SDK I used was this one, cerevoice underscore SDK 6 Unity 64. Depending on what OS you use, I'm using Windows 7 for this. I also used it in Linux. What version? Once I'd done it here, I transferred this whole project over to Linux Cinnamon 20 and Ubuntu Cinnamon 20. So you have to download the separate header voice and licensing thing from the cereproc developer account. I'm also bugging them on how I get access to their cloud service, because their cloud service, which you also get 1 year's worth with your 60 quid, would allow you probably to use all their voices. Obviously, you have to go to their server. So it's a lot like all the other servers, except that you get a lot more. Well, it's a bit more indie based rather than massive corporates only wanting to talk to massive corporates. Having no time for the little guy. So anyway, this will need to put into subfolder. Yes, you need to put your header voice and licensing information into StreamingAssets. You'll have to update the TTS script with the licensing information. I went for the 48K voice. So you get hold of the SDK, you unzip the SDK, you start Unity with dark theme. I tried to do it this way, or if problems, start a blank project, copy assets across the blank project. So I tried to open it up and it caused all sorts of wobblies. So in the end, the second time I did it, I just copied all the assets folder across into a blank project, which I will show you what to do. Then you need to download Uma 2 and then download BKTrol. Then drag the TTS script to the TTS object. You link up the text boxes. We'll cover all this shortly. Drag the text input script into the input field component. The output text field, drag the output text component. Create a subfolder of assets called StreamingAssets. Capitalization is important. Edit the TTS script. Put in your license details. Put the licenses and .license streaming assets, and it should all work. Should all work now. Right, save that. So let's do it. We can minimize that. Open up Unity Hub. Yes. Unity Hub. Yep. We create a new demo project, and we call this August 2020 TTS 4. Right. So what can I talk about whilst we are thinking? I don't know. Is there anything we need to talk about? I've really covered everything there. So we're creating an empty 3D project in standard rendered pipeline, and I've got two others already open. I've got one where I've fixed the UMA and troll dependencies, but I haven't put in my licensing info, and then one where I've got everything in. So there's the blank project. And before we go anywhere, we should go to the Asset Store, Window, Asset Store, Control 9, . and we're looking for UMA. I always get distracted with the asset store, all the cool stuff. UMA, very cool. Anyway, UMA, that one, the free version. UMA 2 free. Import. I'm not going to do it, it takes too long. Then troll. Search for troll and free assets. And grab this whilst you can. I mean, this one here, creature code, I'll drag that in. That's for fixing all the dependencies. To be honest, I don't know why they bothered, because am I going to... Okay, I suppose what I'll do next is show you the folder. So if I can get into the folder, is this the folder? So TTS. cereproc beta. I want to be careful not to show my license details. So examples, demo, assets. We'll just copy that. Jolly, copy. We're just going to paste that into this project. So assets, open folder, assets, paste, copy everything, merge, copy and replace. Done. Close, minimize, and now it's going to compile everything. Right, so we've got all sorts of broken things. We go to the scene, TTS, UI. First thing that's broken is the UMA, so that's what importing UMA would fix. The other thing is missing prefab on the troll. So with that cave troll, we just drag that in, we delete this one, and drag the troll in. We could try deleting them both, but which should also possibly work. But I'm not going anywhere near that, so I don't want to mess with the scripts. So TTS missing script, but we've got the scripts now, so let's stick TTS into there. And this is the script that we will need to edit and stick in our license files into the StreamingAssets folder. So you just put in the name of the thing, so it'll be header.voice there for the SDK one. So if I minimize that, assets, create folder, streaming assets, and that's where you put your voice. Let's create a little text file. No, I can't be bothered. Open, show and explorer. Okay. Right click, new. This is where you put your voice and licensing. Yeah, so there, that goes into StreamingAssets, capital S, capital A. Minimize that. Yeah. So we've got the TTS in there. Cannot be loaded. Please fix any compile errors. I think that's because of the UMA stuff. Unfortunately, it's just horrible to depend on them. Anyway, input field is missing a script, and that will be scripts text input. Put that in there, and then output somewhere. Where's the output? Text, is it? Text? No. Oh, you can't see it because the script's not compiling. Well, anyway, this pops up with an output, and we put the output text as the output text, which I will show you in the next thing. So once we've installed UMA and put a troll in there as a proper reference, we will end up going to this one, I think. SC1, I think this is it. Input string, standard thing, or whatever. So input field, the script is run and it has an output. So the text output field would be this one here. So you drag that into there. Should really be labeled something else. Like, I don't know, can I get text output? Is that going to create everything to fail? I can try. Field text output. It's a little bit more sensible, isn't it? So that's all well and good, but you've then got to put your licensing information. That's not going to work. So if I hit play, it should just say can't find voice. And it failed to load voice because there's no voice there. So that's then leads us to the next thing. Now, last time I recorded this didn't come out very well. Is this the one? No, it's this one, is it? I can't tell the difference. Have I closed the actual real one? No, it's down here, hiding. There we go. So what we'll do with this one, let's move the guy over here, so I know this is the working one. I'll save, check. Right, so this has got all my info in, and this should work. But unfortunately, with this recording, it seems to go all. The performance doesn't seem to work. So this could be an issue. So I think I might have identified an issue with this. Although you get fabulous results, it might be a bit processors hungry to be having it all done on your game machine, because let's face it, the game machine is going to be struggling to do all the rest of it. So even this one has just my screen recorder going and this, and it was causing all sorts of problems with the text to speech because it is rendering it at real time, which can be seen in the TTS. So I'm thinking that although this is in an update pool somewhere, so it's basically providing you with the engine running at the same time as the game. Not necessarily a good idea because it could take up a lot of processing power, and also the fact that, for example, if you get a really hectic part of the game, if your voice suddenly turns all weird and wacky, it might be a problem. So it could well be that beyond basic basic use cases, that you probably will need to use a server to offload all this. So you just and the other the other thing obviously is that you could pre-render the WAV files so that it's all pre-rendered. This goes back to pre-rendering things before baking things in rather than relying on real-time generation. Because real-time generation is quite expensive, especially if you're looking at real-time performance of the game. Anyway, I will try this. It may sound terrible, but that's not because it sounds terrible on my machine. It's because the screen recorder is not very good. Well, that's not true. It's not very good at capturing this voice, put it that way. So, test.
Test. Hopefully this sounds good and not like some sort of mutant. To see a better example, see my demo video. This may highlight a need to offload the voice work onto a separate server. Or pre-render dialogue into WAV files. Especially for real-time demanding games. I also see this as it's for people to chat to each other in games. TTS in-game for chat. so that will need to be real-time and probably best to be done server-side. Anyway, hope this is of use to people. Good luck, smile. Tongue. Big smile.
Okay, so let's move that just a little bit this way as we bother to do it. We do want to see the face, but I haven't linked up. I think there's some sort of face linkage going on, but I don't know. File save, file save project. And obviously, if you wanted to build this, build and run, cancel, file, build settings, add open scene, test, build and run. And yeah, I hope that's of use. I've used the 48K sample rate, and let's tab back into this thing. TTS Unity. Right, so let's go over what I did and what's been covered in the video. Get a hold of the SDK with Unity for Unity from the support team from cereproc or cerevoice. You have to check that email. This is the SDK for Unity, but you also have to download the separate header voice and licensing. Right, this will put in a subfolder called StreamingAssets. I can make that bold. You'll have to update the TTS script with the license information, 48K voice. 48K is a bit of a performance issue. We can always go down to possibly 16K performance issues. Also, offload. So get hold of the SDK, unzip the SDK, start a Unity project, click on the demo scene and load it up, or if problems, start a blank project and copy the assets folder across the blank project, download the Unity free assets, download the free ktrol, drag the TTS script to the TTS object, link the text boxes, drag the text object into the input field component, the output text field, drag the output text component. Create a subfolder of assets for streaming assets, capitalization is important. Edit the TTS script and put in the license details, put licenses and .voice into streaming assets, it should all work. If you've got any problems, put it in the comments below, and I hope that's of use to people. But like I said, you're going to have to buy the 60 quid SDK license from cereproc, so you're going to have to deal with them at some point. Good luck, and yeah, I look forward to seeing what people can do with it.